All right, we're back. Harrowings live with Hal Gill, your host, and we're in Northwest DC at S Street Northwest. One of my neighbor's house at 2110. Got a nice American Eagle out there. Going to put these bags in the car. I'm going to be driving tomorrow. Got a ways to go. Visit mom in Charter Senior Living, where she resides now. Some of her things that she's made over the years are there. Oh, I remember. She can bring more of this seltzer in for Len. Got 3 sheets of it there. 12 packs. It's a lot of weight, but I'm not going to get them now. Yes, I'm out walking. Which way am I going to go? It's pretty up over the hill. I think this way is good. Our UPS driver has got some salty language. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but if you did, fine. If you didn't, fine. There's Plumbing Mastered. Can do a little advertising for them. Somebody's getting work done by them anyway. There's my oops driver. See what Brown can do. We're at the embassy of Costa Rica. So I'm in Costa Rican territory up here. Get back out on the sidewalk, go back to the United States, travel internationally. There's a pre-Columbian ball here in stone. It's been here quite a while. Moved up from Costa Rica, I expect. Capital Mosquito Control going by. So a little bit of who, what, when, and where. This is just raw journalism at the moment of life on S Street so far. My direction is yet to be determined. Going to pass Mitchell Park. I could go down the Spanish Steps, which is one of the nice features in our neighborhood. I'll walk around there anyway. Decided I had enough time to get a little exercise before going on at 3 with Jimmy Wang, who is doing some interesting work. I have signed up to take her courses and then promptly missed them. I don't know how I did that, but I managed to do all kinds of things. I can move the needle a little bit for somebody. And I've signed up for her Builders AI community or whatever it's called. I forget. The fountain is so nice here. It's been restored. It was originally put up in 1911. And the park was restored, I think, in 1990 something. There's something delightful about just the flow of water. Continual cycling going on here. And it's called the Spanish Steps after Rome's Spanish Steps. But it's much smaller. I've been up those. And Rome, and that's a lot of steps. The house where Keats died is right next to him. So young. Tuberculosis took him out. Took a lot of them. Got some trees coming up here. And the ivy, English ivy is an invasive species. It really shouldn't be encouraged. Looks like there's some small fruits growing as well. I don't know if that's a tomato. I don't know. Don't think so. It didn't look like tomato leaves. We're by the embassy Laos is property. Laos, country in Southeast Asia that we did a lot of damage to during the Indochina conflict. Overall, Bartlett tree experts are at work. Not sure which one they're working on, but got that staked out. A sycamore coming down now. So they got hoses running from the tree. Ah, yeah, they're watering. Well, good for them. Embassy of Lao People's Republic, People's Democratic Republic residence here. So that's the ambassador's house. They also had the one next door, but that's being rehabbed, and I think they sold it. Pretty sure. I don't know who to. A lot of work going on. So I'll get out here. So all good. Watering going on there. It's not going to do a lot, I don't think, but better than nothing, right? It's been too dry here lately. This place was the Irish ambassador's residence for a while. I don't know what's happening with it now. But it's a parking lot for construction, maybe next door. It's kind of ramshackle. Needs a paint job around the windows. Another delivery truck. And Planted Earth Landscaping Incorporated. Pulling through. Here we have the Embassy of Myanmar. This was the home of Herbert Hoover when he was Secretary of Commerce. The Embassy of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. It's Chancery. Free driver there. Across the street is the Chinese ambassador's house. They got their pumpkins out for Halloween. It's kind of cute. The consular section of the Embassy of the Republic of Myanmar there. And here we have some power washing happening. I'm going to step out of this guy's way so he doesn't have to stop his work. Let's place so much up Bezos. The Washington Post, among other things. It also was the guy who started Amazon.com. And all that entails Whole Foods, One Medical Group, you name it. I'm plugged into that. And every cent we spend is a vote. It helps to enrich someone. And this is one of the results is this double 2330 S Street Northwest. I'm at 2103. The Chinese ambassador, 2301, sometimes gets my mail and won't give it back when he does, at least in one case. It was a special thing I had delivered, and it ended up being taken by the Chinese ambassador. Oh. Little free library here. Technology and culture. Somebody's giving those away. It's always an interesting read. International Quarterly of the Society for the History of Technology. January 2025. Tempting. Some New Yorkers as well, things stashed away there. This Woodrow Wilson House, registered National Historical Landmark. And across the street, the Embassy of Mauritania's residence. That's the ambassador's home from Mauritania. The ambassador of Pakistan's place next to it. Somebody from the Pakistani delegation, I think, getting into that car there. Probably not the ambassador. This home is got its Halloween decorations up. And around the corner, we have the ambassador of the Netherlands. Oh, flag flying. I don't know. They still have the Ukrainian colors out. I don't see them. Yeah, they're there. By the window, they have the Ukrainian colors showing their solidarity with the Ukraine. This is the embassy of Cameroon, embassy of Chad across the way. They've recently rebuilt inside this house. They're trimming the grass, looks like, at the embassy of Cameroon. That's Cameroonian grass and not American grass. All seems the same to me. Smells good. Look at smell of bone grass. Consular services there for Cameroon. It's a Irish Patriots monument there. Died very young. There's a little historical marker there about him. Robert Emmett, if I remember correctly, was his name. Was totally overgrown with trees, and I cut those back so you can see the statue now. A little better. Building of the embassy of Korea across the street. There's the front of the Cameroonian embassy, and coming up on the embassy of Croatia. The Croatian embassy always takes me back to my time at the Goethe Institute when I spent a fair amount of time with one of their diplomats who was getting his German skills up. St. Jerome, the priest, the church's greatest doctor. Hey, the 341 to 420 is that sculpture always appeals to me. I like how he has his head in his hand. And yeah, try to document its existence. From time to time, St. Jerome is the one who translated the Bible into Latin, gave us the Vulgate, if I remember correctly. So this is Dalzell Place. I gotta keep an eye on the clock. It's almost 2:00. I think I can loop around, maybe go up R Street, back up to DuPont Circle area. I don't know. Just how things seem to me. I could be wrong. Did a little writing this morning as I was hitting a milestone, a 90-day milestone of not attending unless invited personally to any of the officially listed meetings of the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. A lot of people call it the program who are in recovery, but the program is actually living. Cute little Ferrari. A program is actually living the principles in all our affairs. And that's not too difficult to do, really. And if we know what the principles are, but if we don't know what they are and have a difficult time practicing. So one of those principles is live and let live, which I'm trying to do that first part, the living part. And certainly it's a lot easier to let live if I distance myself from others and don't impinge on their progress by influencing them. All influence is necessarily negative in some way. And perhaps if you're listening to this, you might want to think twice about taking any influence from what I'm saying. I don't know. I just know how things seem to me. I'm thinking back to a film version of The Portrait of Dorian Gray. A small clip of it is embedded in a film called Wonder Boys, which is based on a novel by Michael Chabon. His Substack is called Tragic Magic, and I highly recommend looking up Tragic Magic and reading Chabon, but don't let me influence you. Anyway, this little clip happens when Tobey Maguire's character, a writer named James Lear, who's a student of Michael Douglas's character, Grady Tripp, is hanging out with his professor at his professor's estranged wife's house, a parent's house. And the neighborhood they call kinship. So I think it's a riff on friendship, but it looked like it was on Mount Washington, where this particular house was that they filmed this scene in. And Tobey Maguire starts watching television and he sees this little clip of the Dorian Gray film, an old 1940s kind of film version of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde originally. So I have to pull that out of my memory, see what that's like. There's also a little clip of Julie Garland and Mickey Rooney doing a little song together as the parents of the estranged wife walk in on him as he's smoking a joint and getting into their liquor. And Grady's father-in-law ends up cleaning up his leg a bit where he'd been bitten by a dog. And tells him where his estranged wife might be. And it's pretty clear that Grady isn't really clued in too much to his wife's ordinary life. And yeah, so it's a good film. Wonder Boys, it's called. And it's set in Pittsburgh. And it was for that film's opening scene that I gave up my classroom while I was teaching German 1. And yeah, so that was interesting. Got out of the way of the film crew. Never got that classroom back. Didn't really enjoy the experience of teaching at Carnegie Mellon University, but it is what it is. And I'm done with that now. It's all good. So I'm heading back up to the house, having gotten a small amount of exercise. Banner steps. Where our photographer is still working, actually, so maybe I won't. I'll take Decatur instead. We've already seen the Spanish steps after all. But wouldn't want to get in her way. It's a quiet afternoon as we go on the passing show. And I'm, of course, a little breathless as I walk about. I keep moving to keep moving. A little earlier today to flesh on the detail of life, I called my old history professor at Randolph-Macon College. He's retired now, and his life includes going to the gym. Fantastic thing for an 85-year-old man to be doing. And we talked a bit. He seems quite mentally sharp. He's a very interesting fella. He's got some sort of psychic abilities and has had a lot of my professors, as it turned out. And wow, did I ever benefit from having brushed up against historical figures that continue to reverberate through the world. I just so lucky, luckier than I have any right to expect to be. I keep writing. It's kind of gonzo video blogging of the passing show that's going on right now. Looks like I've had some comments No, it's not 90 days of sobriety. It's 90 days not attending meetings. I've been sober over 10 years. So sorry, Wanda Jacobson gave you the wrong impression. Yeah, you're getting a tour of Embassy Row, tour company looking for guides. I might do it. Yeah. Just send me the link. And yeah, I could do that. Yeah, this embassy home is no longer the Irish embassy. Yes. Gorgeous out. Yes. And thank you for the interplay. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Oh, the principles. The simplest principle is this: don't drink, no matter what. After that, there's this one called Live and Let Live. I was talking about that. I'm doing the first part better now. And letting live was what I was talking about as well. And the perniciousness of influence. Um, an awful lot of people just listen to other people. They don't actually read and study and understand what AA.org says. And it's easy to find. Go to AA.org and read it. There are tons of pamphlets, and a lot of those have been refreshed. A lot of people get the idea that there is some sort of requirement to figure out who your higher power is and have one. There isn't. I mean, it's helpful to you, great, but belief is not a requirement. Desire is. So there's that principle. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And if you have that desire, you belong. Whether you have that ability or not, you belong. And an awful lot of people suffer needlessly because of misinformation. That's my main point about recovery from anything. And we're all addicted to something when it gets down to it. All of us have our unhealthy behaviors. They can be food, they can be nicotine, they can be alcohol, they could be crystal meth, they could be sex, they could be anything out of balance. And we're all looking for ways of comforting ourselves, self soothing behaviors. There are those people who are actually, I've run into some members of Skin Pickers Anonymous. I probably qualify. And, I don't know. I could go on and on. But the live and let live one's really important. Easy does it's another. Take it easy. Don't panic. Keep it simple. First things first. That's what I'm really bad at. First things when I get around to them. I do what I want when I want, right? That's a part of the dis-ease. Self-centeredness, selfishness. That's another one. And so my experiment of doing none and 90, no meetings that are officially listed as meetings of the Fellowship of AA, unless I'm invited like a vampire to come in, give my story. I've done that 3 times in the 90 days, once a month on average. And that's it, folks. It's not very complicated. Now, if you want to get a sponsor, get one that's actually read and understood what AA.org says. But otherwise, I would say sponsor yourself with reading and understanding the black bits. To age your Plantagenet and Valois? Oh, that looks great. I've got to have that. Words alone foster. Years of his inheritance are a foster now. Moliere, calm, Miss Fowler. I know it's got to come in with me. Not always do I find anything I want in the little free library. That's provided, by the way, by the Romanians of DC. We're very grateful to them, Miss Fox. I need to put things more in it than take out. But being a descendant of the Plantagenet, as most people are, I like to read this stuff. I know I'm a descendant because of my grandmother's work on genealogy, but so is everybody else if you look back that far, because you've got 2 parents, 4 grandparents. Hopefully you've got 8 great-grandparents and on back. And by the time you get back to the time of the Plantagenets, you're descended from more people than actually exist. So there. All right, back to the bunker. Thanks for joining. Came back a little early. It's only 2:12. I got 40 some minutes. That helps so much. Thank you. Take it easy and allow people to be themselves. Well, that's it, right? Too many people try to control others, and letting go of the desire to be controlling is a good bit of what this practice is about, along with observing and observing just how quickly the world fills in where you existed and how little others think of others. That's problematic because there's a passage in the black text that says our very lives depend upon our constant thought of others and how we might help to meet their needs. Don't see that happening much, even though for 8 years I was almost daily in the company of these folks. So that's sort of a damning situation. And and live video. Remember, every cent we spend is a vote for the kind of world we are co-creating. Please be mindful and conscious and know that the only effects that really matter these days in this great world are economic. We are homo economicus anymore. That's all I got. Help each other, be kind to each other, amplify the signal through the noise. This is all I got.